Hello, my name is Catie Frates. I'm a disciple of Jesus Christ. I'm a homeschool mom of 3 daughters for over 20 years, and I'm alive. It is possible. I'm the wife of Steve Frates and have been for over 30 years. Brave man, pray for him. And I have a degree in eukaryotic cell biology. I used to just say micro and cell biology, but people would confuse that with actually a micro degree. My degree is really looking at upper level cells, so cells like in plants and animals. And so I am a scientist by degree. I went to Auburn University and the University of Florida, and I worked in cancer research for a while. And the Lord called me to study creation science for the benefit of my own family, and then in his great sense of humor, he had me start to share that with other people. And he also gave me the huge blessing of calling me to teach children about science. And I love science. I'm a science nerd and always have been, and therefore it's a huge blessing to me to be able to share the science with other homeschooling students. And I appreciate you trusting me with part of your child's education. And I pray that we can make it fun, and yet it'll still be meaty and they'll get a lot out of it. If your child is taking one of my middle school classes, then I like for science to be fun as long as possible, and therefore I personally don't like to give the students tests in middle school. So even though we'll have reading and questions to answer because that helps them with their reading comprehension, I won't be giving them tests on a regular basis in middle school science. And so I just wanted you to know that. I also will not be assigning them grades. This year in middle school science, we will be doing botany for the first quarter. So the first half of the first semester, we'll be doing botany. And then we will be doing zoology the second half of the first semester, so that would be the second quarter, but the second half of the first semester. So in the first semester, we will cover botany and zoology. And then in the second semester, we'll be covering anatomy and nutrition and other things, and we're actually going to do a health and wellness semester. And I will be offering tests for that semester because I'm hoping to make that course actually into a half of a health credit so that high school students can use it as a health credit, and therefore it needs to have tests so that the parents can assign a grade. So if you have a student that you don't want to take the tests, they can just use the tests as if it's a study guide and just take it, and when we grade the tests, they'll have taken it open book, so it'll be like a study guide. For those students who, parents of students who would like to use that as a health credit, half credit, then I would suggest that they take the tests closed book, like a normal test, and then at the beginning of the next week after the test, we will grade those tests together, and then it will be the parents' responsibility to go ahead and collate those grades for their final grade for their student, because I do not keep grades. In college, math and science are on a 10-point scale. That means 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, etc. And therefore, I suggest that in science they be on a 10-point scale also. The whole reason that I'm teaching these classes actually is because I love science and the Lord's called me to it, and I want to bless your children, and I hope that I can teach them to love God's creation through science also. But I also am trying to help them prepare for college, because a lot of your kids are college bound, and therefore I'm really trying to point them in that direction. And so I think that the grading should line up with what the colleges are doing, and that's how they're doing it. So anyway, please email me through the professorfrates@gmail.com. I know some of you are past students, and we have the old email address. That email address is overwhelmed with spam, and therefore I'm losing student and parent correspondence there. Therefore, I started a new email address specifically for students and parents. It's not used for anything else, and therefore I can see when you email me. So please use professorfrates@gmail.com, and I will make sure that I check that as regularly as I can, and then that way I can get back to you faster. Thank you again for trusting me with part of your child's education.